get our full-blown acceleration. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Ram 1500 Bighorn with the Night Edition and then also the off-road package as well. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Dodge Ram here in Sandy for providing us with the truck. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood of this particular Bighorn Night Edition, we have the 5.7 liter Hemi e-torque. So it's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, fuel economy 17 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 395 horsepower and then 410 pound-feet of torque with an e-torque assistance of 130 pound-feet right off the line. Now going over the front end of the Bighorn Night Edition, the first thing you're going to notice is obviously this is finished in the billet silver, but you can see the silver contrasting the black grille. That's part of the Night Edition. You'll always get a black grille no matter what the body color is for the truck. And this one does have the standard halogen bulbs. You can get LED lights as an option. This particular one just doesn't have that option. And then you can see you've got the fog lights down below, parking sensors all along the front, and then yes, the Ram logo is also blacked out as well. And then coming over onto the hood, you can see you've got the 1500 e-torque badge right there, and other than that, that is everything for the front end of the Night Edition. Coming to the side here, I've got two 75mm tires on 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then since this is the off-road package, obviously you get the Wild Peak all-terrain tires. So you can see these are just a little bit more aggressive. So here's the tires here on this off-road package, and then, well, here's a Bighorn with the regular tires just so you guys can see the difference. And then here's a quick look at the suspension here in the front, or at least what we can see of the suspension. And then you've got a little blacked out Ram logo right there, and then you can see on the back of the bed you've got a little 4x4 decal to show it has the 4x4 off-road package. And we'll actually take a step on the other side of the truck so you guys can get a full side view of the Bighorn Night Edition. Now coming to the rear of this Night Edition, you can see that you do not get a spray-in bed liner as standard equipment. It's optional equipment here on the Bighorn, but you can see you've got the regular cargo light up there, and then LED bed lights are also another option on the truck. They're not standard equipment. This one has the 5'7" bed, so there's kind of like an idea of the space that you get with the bed, but it's everything for the bed space. Let's finish things up in the rear. So on the back of the Night Edition, notice that all of the logos and emblems are all blacked out. You've got a body colored bumper and then blacked out exhaust tips. And then in terms of the towing capacity, since the receiver hitch is back here, it's just over 11,000 pounds, and then the payload is right in the 1,600, 1,700 pound range for the Bighorn Night Edition. Now let's take a look at the door panel here in the rear. So at the Bighorn, you get the soft padding right here with the contrasted white stitching, and then you have the cool cloth trim here. I actually really like it. It's a very unique, distinct look. And then you can see you've got the blacked out material just up above. And then coming to the seats here in the rear, notice they continue with that cloth that's kind of similar to what's on the door panel. And in terms of just the look of it, they look really nice. They feel really nice as well. In terms of like cloth seats in a truck, these are definitely the nicest by far. But there's kind of like a full look at it. And per usual, let's actually pop in. So stepping in, this one doesn't have the side steps, which I'd recommend getting the side steps. Definitely makes getting in a whole lot easier. If you're wondering, I'm about 5'11", and got a good amount of headroom and legroom. And yes, I am wearing pants for the first time in my life, but you can see you've got a little bucket right there. I call this little beer bucket that comes with the trucks. Got a couple more cup holders here, a couple USBs, and then a full power outlet. And then under these seats, you can see you get some extra storage space. Pretty simple, and that's all for the back of the Bighorn. Now looking at the door panel here in the front, notice that they do that same blacked out trim with the cloth trim, and then you've got your padding with the stitching all throughout, and then you've got all of your window controls here. The mirrors are power folding. This does have the smaller set of mirrors, so you can see what those look like. And the other cool thing about the mirrors is they're all blacked out, so you can see they've got the gloss black paint on those. And then just press that again, that'll pop them back out. And then here are the seats here at the front of the Bighorn. So again, that same cloth with all the stitching all throughout, and they feel just as nice as the seats in the rear. Definitely class leading in terms of the cloth seat side of things. And then you got the adjustments here on the side of the seat. And then there's what the pedals look like. You actually do have adjustable pedals in this particular one. You've got your parking brake, you've got all of your light controls right there. And there's one more look before we pop in. Here's a look at the steering wheel with the Bighorn. Just give me a warning for the guests if you guys are wondering. You've got the smooth leather all the way around, and then you've got black stitching on the center, which obviously goes with the blacked out theme of this particular truck. And then you see you've got your cruise control over here, your gear selector on the other side, your voice commands with the controls for the center stack. Radio controls are on the back of the steering wheel. And then you see you got your stock for the windshield wipers. Other than that, that is everything for the steering wheel. Now I've got a center gauge cluster here in the Bighorn. You've got the 2 gauges on either side that are in analog form. Then you do have the digital readout there in the center. Pretty straightforward. This is just like any other Ram 1500. Just shows you different bits of information on the vehicle. Shows you your gas range, all that kind of stuff. So nothing too fancy there. You've seen it a million times. And yes, it is in fact 36 degrees outside, and I am filming for you guys. Here is the center infotainment system. We've got vents flanking either side of this, and I really like the blacked out trim on either side. And then there is a 12 volt there at the top portion. Now if we actually pop the truck into reverse, you can see the backup camera will pop up. Now this does have the zoom in to the receiver hitch. You can see functions pretty normal, and then the trajectory lines do turn with the steering wheel in the truck. And then other than that, response time on the touchscreen, you guys know, really solid. This is the same screen that they've had since 2019 model year now. And then you can see you got heated seats and a heated steering wheel. No air conditioned seats available for the Bighorn though. And then you do get a dual zone climate here up front, and then you can get these equipped with navigation. This particular one obviously has it, and that's all for the infotainment system. Now just down below in this area, you've got analog controls for the radio. Again, you've got your dual zone climate controls. You've got your controls for the heated seats and heated steering wheel, which got those turned on because it's actually chilly today. And then you can see you've got your parking sensors here, your tow haul mode, stability control, and then you've got the trailer brake control just right next to it. And then coming over here, we've got the dial shifter. So you can see that you've got the traditional dial shifter that Ram's had since the 2013 model year in certain trucks. And then you got your drive line select. So you got your 2-wheel drive, your 4-wheel auto, your 4-wheel high, and then your 4-wheel low. And then your auto stop start, since it has the e-torque. And then you can see down here you've got the hill descent control and the axle lock, since this one has the off-road package. Those are part of the off-road package, as well as the upgraded shocks that come with the truck. I got the full center console here, so we've got the leather here with the stitching all throughout. It's actually pretty nice for being kind of like the entry-level truck for Ram, other than their work trucks obviously. But you can see the center console functions great. And then you've got the random storage space where the CD player used to be. Couple of USBs, and then you could actually put your phone in any of these parts, and then you actually do get a full power outlet just down below. Bighorn right there, and then opening up the glove box, you can see decent amount of storage space with that. And then finishing things up, if we pop up to the top here, you can see that we've got a sunglass holder, traditional mirror on this particular one, and you actually can get a sunroof on the Bighorns, but most of them, they usually don't come with them because it's expensive. And yes, we've got a power sliding window. Takes forever to close, but that's all. Now that we're done going over the interior on this Bighorn, let's quickly talk about the pricing. So in terms of pricing, this Bighorn stickers were about $54,000 before any type of market adjustment. And that all being said, let's take this Bighorn out and see how it drives. Let's quickly talk about visibility here in the Bighorn before we set off. So you can see visibility of the hood, super solid. And then there's your visibility through both of the mirrors. It's nice that they have those little convex mirrors to help out. And then here's your visibility throughout the rear. And as you guys can see, this is accidentally turned into a nighttime review again. So I guess enjoy. We are setting off here in this 2021 Ram 1500 Bighorn Night Edition. And first and foremost, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality with this truck, because it does have the off-road package, and let's see if that's any different. So far from a ride quality perspective, I can't really perceive a difference. These tires are a little bit more aggressive than the regular tires on this truck, but I don't really notice a difference whatsoever in terms of the ride quality. Now, in terms of the noise that comes into the cabin, I'm not noticing a noticeable difference with that either. So like, it's all pretty much the same, really smooth. If you guys are wanting compared to other trucks on the market right now, Ram is definitely the smoothest on the market. I would say that Chevy is a close second up. Again, I haven't reviewed the new 2021 Ford F-150, so we'll have to see where that one ends up being. But right now, Ram is the smoothest. You can see the handling is really good as well for a truck. It just goes right around. It's really easy to turn and maneuver. The truck doesn't feel big by any means, and the steering is really direct, but it's also really light. Definitely has a really nice luxury feel to it, and it doesn't have that same like floating around feel that most trucks have. It's actually really direct for a steering rack for a truck. Okay, and then we are going to get our minor acceleration here. So this is just kind of like partial throttle. So you can see under partial throttle, the gear shifts are very smooth, and that 5.7 Hemi has a good amount of torque, so it just kind of gets you up to speed. And the brakes, solid on this Bighorn Night Edition. That's cool. We just had a McLaren on the POV shot right there, so that's pretty cool. You don't see those every day in Utah, especially right after it snowed. But we'll get our acceleration in a second now. Let's get our full-blown acceleration. So the gear shift is still smooth. It's actually quick as well. And this is the 5.7 Hemi e-torque with the 392 axle ratio. And it does a fantastic job of getting up to speed, no problem at all. And again, I'm at about 4,500 feet elevation, and I'm not really noticing any crazy power loss or anything like that with the truck. So really solid. And in the cold too, it still does really good. It's about 36 degrees now outside. And again, it's just doing a really good job with that. So let's get into summing things up with this Bighorn package. So first off, with the Bighorn, obviously this is kind of like your entry-level package, other than like getting a full-blown work truck, which they still do not offer a tradesman with the new body style. Really, they kind of sell a few, but for the most part, and there's that McLaren again. Hello, McLaren. Anyways, they don't really sell them in that many in big numbers, right? It's mostly Bighorns for like the lower down, and then usually they'll do the classic body style for like the tradesmen. So it's kind of a little bit of a weird situation with Ram right now, because they still are selling their old body style alongside the new one. So if you want like a really good entry-level truck that comes with a lot of options, that has really nice seats compared to like a Ford XLT or like the Chevy Silverado LT, this is definitely a step above. But if you're also looking to save a little bit of money, typically these Bighorns will have a little bit bigger in terms of discount compared to other Rams, like I don't see a Laramie. There we go, a Laramie or like a Rebel or like a Limited. So it's kind of like you get a little bit better value, get a good amount of options, all that kind of stuff. And so if that's kind of what you're looking for, the Bighorn is a great truck to go for. That is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Ram 1500 Bighorn Night Edition. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Dodge Ram here in Sandy for providing us with this Bighorn. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in that next video.